Welcome to another live stream. I am Keith, and small crowd to start with tonight, so perfectly fine. It's another Tuesday. It's October 29th, and it is almost over. October is. And so many of you guys know it's going to be a scary couple of days here leading into November, and it may even get scarier in November if you're here in the United States of America. You can see outside this time of year because it's slowly getting darker. And next week, it might even be a little different out there. So obviously tonight we're kind of going with the theme tonight of spring forward, which happened months ago, right? And fall back. So in the fall, and that will be November 3rd, 2024, here in the state of Washington, we are going to turn our clocks back. And so I was just really thinking about the end of October. Did I want to change the display here, which I didn't want to bring a bunch of pumpkins and orange things here in the studio. Kind of really looking forward to the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday. And so we'll leave the jack-o'-lanterns outside. Boo. And we'll just make it normal here inside. Now, if you can see right here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit record, I am using my ATem Mini Pro tonight to stream because I need to be doing some things inside my extreme ISO tonight that I couldn't do the last time I decided to talk about replay. And so again, as we're setting the clocks back in time, right? So when I get up on Sunday morning, November 3rd, I'm going to have to pop those clocks back. And so what does that mean? That means that instead of me going live at 4 o'clock, I'm going to have to put the clock backwards to 3 o'clock, wait to 4 o'clock again. So the outside gets darker, and it's very confusing. I've seen people kind of look glazed as they're trying to announce what happens. But obviously, if you have something to go to on a Sunday morning and you don't set your clocks back, who knows? You might get there just a little bit late. So for whatever it's worth, we'll see how it plays out. And we are going to look at the chat here in just a second. And yeah, Tony, I get it. Let's go ahead and put Tony's question on the air. As scary as this is, chat on the air. Tony's asking a great question. Will you be streaming on election day? I don't know. We'll probably do a poll tonight to see if you guys want me to stream or don't want me to stream. But in reality, I was planning on streaming and then checking out what's happening after we get off the air. And again, for some of you, it's a lot later. You're going to probably be watching all of the television about the election. I know where Tony is. It's 3 hours later than where I am. It's 4 o'clock right now. Obviously, next week is going to be a different time zone for me. So I don't know if you guys have to set your clocks back or not, but we're going to do a poll a little bit later about that. So anyway, so let's just say hi to everybody in the chat, and I'll come back and I'll address Tony's question a little bit more in depth. Earlier today, Grish was here. I'm not sure Grish is here now. I think he just tries to get the front row, and then he pops in after we go live. I don't know if that's fair, getting the front row seat, but I guess if you want to come early and put all your stuff down and then go have dinner and then pop back in, I guess you have the seat reserved unless someone takes your seat. So, Grish, welcome to you. Hank, it's great to have you from Bluffton, South Carolina. And again, I'm glad the storms have ceased. And Tony said hi to everyone as well. And then we have Chio in the house. And so good. And Tony says everything sounds 5x5. I have hit record now, and I am on the air. And we're going to be switching to the other multi-view. We just want to make sure everything's going good. The sound is good because I am actually not streaming from my extreme ISO. And those of you that have been on the channel, you already know this, but those that are listening to this later or watching the video later, I have 2 Extreme ISOs by Blackmagic Design. Those are switchers. I'm about halfway done editing my Extreme ISO getting started video. There are a lot of features to cover. I will be doing some more recording tomorrow and the next day, but I've been working through the first 7 or 8 videos I recorded on different sections of that device. But I'm not streaming from my Extreme ISO tonight. I'm not streaming from my Extreme ISO number 2. I'm actually using my ATem Mini Pro tonight. It is fired up, and I am running the program that you guys are seeing into it. It comes into channel 1, which is the fastest port, and then that is the channel I have made live, and that's why you guys are seeing this live. So we are going to be talking not only about daylight savings time, and I want to finish this first poll before we get to that, so we're going to wait a few minutes. But my first question tonight in the poll in the chat is, do you own a HyperDeck? Because we're going to be talking about HyperDecks just briefly tonight. We are going to be program macros. I'm going to demo a macro I already made earlier today that'll do a replay. We have a special guest named Ratso tonight. He will be in the studio. He's going to make instant replay a lot more fun for us tonight. So anyway, I want to welcome you guys at DJ Ware. It's good to have you in the house as well tonight. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And yeah, it's just a few days left to the election here in the United States. I don't really talk about politics here on my channel, but I know that there are lots of people out there right now, lots of things online, lots of people talking about all the things that are happening, both on the Democratic side and Republican side, and then all the other people that were on my ballots. Shannon and I have already delivered our ballots to the box. We voted early, and I'm really excited about November and how things are going to play out in the United States. Also very excited to maybe see some things change over the next 6 or 7 months. There's lots of things going on in the world, and obviously it's very often I have people here from Australia. Occasionally I've had people here from Europe, South America, and all over the United States and Canada. And so in reality, shout out to all those countries. And what I'm hoping for is the cup I brought out today for no bad days going forward. And I'm drinking some coffee tonight, just a touch of coffee. Most of it's this drink that I mix up that tastes like coffee, but trying to cut down on the caffeine because I'm already animated enough. So there's just a dash of instant coffee in that mix tonight. So again, I want to welcome you guys. Tony said this. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of likes last week. Maybe it was just a boring live stream. I don't know. I'll try to make sure tonight is not boring. And again, if you didn't know where we're headed tonight by the still image, we're going to be doing replay macros on the Extreme ISO. I'm going to show you how to make a macro that will use your HyperDeck as a replay device. We're going to talk about how complicated it would be, and we may even try to make a macro tonight to do replay on my HyperDeck, which I already made a macro, but we'll rebuild that live so you guys can see how it happens. But also then, as that one's playing, to hit record on my shuttle, and so that it is recording, and then create another button to replay what's on the shuttle. So in reality, HyperDecks aren't the greatest tool for replay, but they are recording devices. They can play back. There's some delay when they change from play to record. So in reality, there's like a play mode, and then if you click on record, takes a couple seconds, sometimes 3 seconds. It kicks into record mode. And then if you hit the record button again, it starts to record. But because Blackmagic Design software control gives you the ability to make macros, then you can create a macro with pauses, and you can do all of those steps and then just push one button and hit a replay. So I've already tested my macro. It works. So we're going to use that. Again, Ratso will be here to make that replay a lot more exciting. And then I'm going to show you guys tonight how I built that macro, the things you need to be concerned about. How did I route things here in the studio so that I could record on a HyperDeck, play back from my HyperDeck, and then also record on my HyperDeck shuttle, and then be able to play back from my HyperDeck shuttle. And I do not have a macro set up yet for my shuttle to do replay, but we'll play around with how that works tonight. And if you've never created macros, then this is going to be kind of a macro lesson. If you never knew about HyperDecks, this is going to be a little bit more about HyperDecks, and many of you already know about HyperDecks. So, and then I want to get through the next poll. So the first one is, do you own a HyperDeck? So yes or no. If you do own a HyperDeck, please answer the poll. We have 9 votes. There are 67% of you that have HyperDecks that are with me tonight, and 30% of you, 33% of you do not. So if this was an election, the owners of the HyperDecks win. That's if it's not going to have to go to all the other steps that have to go in the United States, and it's kind of crazy how our voting system works. But the good news is we are able to vote tonight if you have HyperDecks. You don't have HyperDecks, and then I have another poll we're going to do here real quickly, asking you about macros. So if you have not, if you're on tonight and you're not chatting, but you are here tonight and you would like to answer the poll, please do so right now. And I'm just looking on here. Looks like we're doing good. The audio sounds good. I have my phone always on the YouTube channel so that I can see the chat. If something happens here with my chat, I have that chat. And so, again, Ratso is going to be here tonight. If you don't know who Ratso is, I apologize. That just means you haven't hung out much on my channel the last 2-3 years. But Ratso is a friend of mine. He's a street rat. He's going to show up tonight and help me with instant replay. Actually, it's not going to be completely instant replay, but it is going to be replay, and you guys can see how that works. We're going to be using this camera and replaying this camera, so it ought to be a lot of fun. Let's just look and see. 9 votes still. Give you a few more seconds to answer this first poll, because I'm really curious. Again, it's still 67% yes, 33% no. And that is, do you own a HyperDeck? So while I'm waiting for you guys to answer that poll, if you are in tonight, let's do this. What do I want to do here? I am going to, let's see here. Me in a slideshow. Yeah, that'll work. So let me drop these in here. This is my main HyperDeck that I have in the studio right there. That's the HyperDeck HD Plus. It does do fill and key. If you don't know what fill and key is, let me make it very simple to you. Fill is that picture right there, and key would be able to key out that white around it. I did this on purpose because in reality, if this was set up like a key and fill and you put both layers, it would look like that, except for you wouldn't see any of the white. The white would be directly behind the HyperDeck, and it would be cutting out anything in the background. So if you layered that over my shirt, the white key would cut out my shirt, and then it would lay that picture on top of it. So that is the HyperDeck, HyperDeck HD Plus, and then this is my old HyperDeck we're not going to be using tonight. This is the older model. It also does key and fill. And so here's the back of the first HyperDeck. You can see on the far right, on the top there, you have A and B, that's key and fill. And so you run both of those channels into your device. Obviously, if you don't have a SD ATem, because they do make the SDI models now, then you would have to convert that SDI to HDMI and then bring it in. And I have 4 converters in my studio because I have that HyperDeck. And then here's the back of the other HyperDeck right here. And you can see that it has a key and fill. They did replace this version for the new HD model, but it does not have key and fill. It has key, so you can play videos back. You can play graphics back, but you don't have that. Our fill layer has the A out, but it doesn't have the B out, which is the key, and that keys out the background. So for animated graphics and things like that, you may want to buy an older version. They're not making them anymore, but you can find those sometimes on discount sites like eBay marketplace. So then I also have a shuttle in the studio, and that's the shuttle right there. It has the big knob on it, and it's pretty much just like the new HD version. It does not have key and fill. It only has fill. Here's the back of it. So you can see what the back of that looks like. So you have an HDMI in and an HDMI out, so you can record to it and you can play out. That's a great device to have on your desk to play your intro video, your outro video. Just keep this in mind that you will have to use the SD card, even though now you can leave the SDI card in, or the SD card in, and you can use the Ethernet port to change files, to save them, to go back and forth from it to your computer, your Macintosh, and you don't have to take that disk in and out. But you do want to make sure all the files are the same format, same frame rate, and the best way to go is ProRes files. That's just the way the HyperDecks are. Even though with the new firmware update, they're saying that you can use other file versions now. But again, if you want to do key and fill animated graphics, then you'll need to get like this HyperDeck right here. At least that's the first entry model that has key and fill, unless you go back and you grab the older HyperDeck Mini, which has been around for many, many years. And again, it just does not have the same benefits. As you can see in the back, you have an HDMI out, but you do not have a way to go HDMI out of either key or fill. So if you just want to play videos from it, I believe that says, I can't see it from here. Let me look at this full screen here. Let's see, program full screen. Yeah, so you have HDMI out, but you do not have an HDMI in, where this one does now have both HDMI in and HDMI out. And so that would be the choice right now that I would recommend if you were going to get a HyperDeck. So how do you use these and do instant replay? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So get ready, but that's just kind of an overview of the three HyperDecks I have. I have the HyperDeck HD Plus. I have the older HyperDeck Mini, and then I have the shuttle in my studio. And I've thought about getting a 4K HyperDeck as well. I have not purchased that as yet, so we'll just have to see if that's on the horizon when the money rains down. So, okay, let's look at the chat one more time. And let's see. We have 9 votes still, and it's 67 yes, 33% no. So we're going to end that poll. Let me get this new one ready to go. Okay, there's the new poll. It is up now. It says, do you use macros in your studio with your switcher? You guys could answer that poll as well. I would sure appreciate it. Don't see anybody else in that chat. Don't see anybody else in this chat. So again, it is great to have you guys. We are going to roll out into this next section, and we're going to talk about instant replay. So let me get a drink here, cool off. It's getting hot in the studio. Okay. Let me grab my phone here. Gonna hook it up. We have a remote camera to minimize all the rest of this stuff. 65 things open tonight. Turn this into no one bother me mode. Okay, let's go into my software here and make one little change for tonight. Cool. Okay, so let's just do this new view here. So here is my desk. There is my Rodecaster Pro version 2. There is my No Bad Days cup. And then here's the layout of my desk. I have the shuttle right here, and it has a menu system that will show up in the screen that's projecting that. And then I have my Mini right here, and it's got this Lego thing I like to watch. It's a stop motion they did with the new Batman, the two devices that I have in my studio. Plus, they did it with the motorcycle, which I do not own. And then here is my HyperDeck HD Plus, HyperDeck Mini, the old version. And you can see this has the ability to do like a black screen. This has the ability to do white screen only. This could be white or black. And this does not have an LCD screen at all. So you have to use the HDMI out and then have a monitor in order to see it. And that's my BenQ monitor. And it's divided into 4 sections. So I got multi-view. I've got the software I have open right now, which is my ATem Extreme ISO. So all my still images that I've been popping on the screen are right here. And then I've got my macros open right here. I also have mix effects. So there's all my macros that I use in mix effect. And then over here, I have my Extreme ISO number 2. And so I can access that if I need to. Because what I'm doing is I'm routing all of these 8 channels through the outputs. I got output 1 and 2, and I could have the USB-C cable plugged into my PC, and that would give me 3 outputs. So I could have 3 different things coming into my live stream if I wanted to, but I don't want to route an extra output from this Extreme ISO number 2 into my live stream through my PC and OBS. That's already being done right now with my chat. So not sure why my chat got minimized over here. And then there's my chat, and I can pop that up on the screen just by clicking on them. And then over here, let's minimize this. I use OBS to bring chat on the air. So if I click on Chio's chat right there, it pops up because it is coming into OBS, and I'm displaying OBS full screen here right there. So that is keyed and it's on the air, and you guys can see Chio's statement that he has a HyperDecks Studio HD Plus. So that is kind of the layout of my studio. So I have my Extreme ISO 2, Extreme ISO 1, my ATem Mini Pro, which you can see it's recording and it's live right now. There's all the data on the screen. So we're on the air. I'm at streaming high. I could go 3 levels up. I could go HyperDeck low, HyperDeck medium, HyperDeck high. This would jump up to lots and lots and lots of megabytes. And then I'm recording, and it tells you the status of that disk. And then there's the audio levels coming in from my Extreme ISO number 1 into channel 1. So channel 1's live, and it is red. So if I switched, the picture would go dead. I don't have any other cameras plugged in to this device. I only have one in and one output, and that output is going to that monitor right there. So what I love about this computer monitor, let me switch microphones here real quick. Now I'm on my wireless microphone, is I can click the button back here and choose HDMI 1. And now you're going to see a very familiar look. That is my extreme ISO. And you can see that it is not recording and it's not streaming. And I'll leave this up for now. Hopefully I won't lose the stream tonight, because if I don't have this on, there's a DisplayPort input as well. So this has 3 inputs. But if I don't have this on, then I can't see my status. So probably leave this on for a while tonight just to be safe. So I wanted to give you a quick tour, because we're going to be using the HyperDecks HD Plus for replay. Then we're also going to play around with using this for replay. So this first disc is for my intro and my outro. So we're going to pop it out, and you're going to see it's going to go away. I'm going to pop this disc in, and it's going to read it. And that's the disc I'm using. And there's one of my replay tests right there on the screen. So you can see that a little closer. But we're not going to use that one. We're just going to continue making new ones. So now you can see the layout of my studio. So I have my laptop, then I have my iPad with mix effects. I'm using this camera. I've got audio levels. I've got chat. I've got my prompter by Elgato, and above that I have a confidence monitor. I can go to this shotgun microphone if I want to. I have my Insta360 camera right there, and then I have my new Insta360 camera right here. I'm not using it because it doesn't work very well. I just released a video talking about the difference between the 2 gimbals that this new one has and the 3 gimbals that the old one has. And so this is a way better camera for overhead on your desk than this one will ever be. So they both do desk view, which is just kind of shooting straight down at your desk, but this actually has an overhead. So if you want to know more about that, check out last week's video or check out my video I just released. So this is the pilot's chair. Go ultra wide so you can see it better. So I don't know if I've ever showed this before, but as I turn around, there's the monitor, there's camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3, and then my PC sits right here. Now I've unplugged this. I'm using that monitor tonight to send to my ATem Mini Pro. So I've unplugged it from a realy switch, splitter. It's a 4-way splitter below my desk, and that is coming into the ATem so that you guys can see the stream tonight, and I can play with the software. So I wanted you to see the HyperDecks. Not going to show them again after this, but there's my Mini, there's my new HyperDecks HD Plus, and there is the shuttle. And the shuttle's great for playing videos back and forward because it has this nice button, where these have these small knobs, and they're not designed to scroll forward and back. They're just menu knobs. So I love the knob on this, and there's bigger HyperDecks that have a bigger knob as well. So that's kind of a quick tour of that part of my desk. I wanted you guys to see that before we dive into Insta Replay. So let me unplug this, and I'll leave it here for a second and look at the chat. See if you guys have any questions. So any questions about my desk or my layout or how the HyperDecks are hooked up? So again, I have 2 extreme ISOs because of my HyperDecks. I have my shuttle plugged into my extreme ISO number 2. I have my HyperDecks Mini also plugged into my extreme ISO number 2. It has fill and key coming in. So that means that that's 3 inputs used up in my extreme ISO number 2. And that's really why I combine them, because if I want to be able to have all my HyperDecks live, I have to have 2 extreme ISOs in my studio, or I could buy a newer rack-mounted one, but I want the buttons on my desk. So, okay. So let's look at the poll, and then I'm going to get you into the macro screen, and we are going to show you how to build this macro, and then I'm going to demo it. So let's just see. No other questions in the chat, it looks like. Let me just bring up YouTube one more time. Sometimes I get a delay if I use the chat plugin through OBS. So just want to make sure. So 66 yes, 33 no on the HyperDecks survey. And right now on the new survey, it says 67% yes and 33% no. So it's almost identical to the other survey, 11 minutes in, but only 3 votes. So we had 9 votes before. We only have 3 votes now. So I have another poll on the screen in the chat. So please make sure you answer that poll. And I want to try to get all 9 votes if that's possible. I don't know if it's possible. And if you are live with me tonight, please say hi in the chat. And if you haven't been able to chat, it's because I have subscribe only. Go ahead and subscribe. If you don't like the channel, if you don't enjoy yourself tonight, then go ahead and unsubscribe. But once you subscribe, you can chat in 1 minute with us tonight, and that will be cool. Okay, so let's do this. Let's bring over my software, my ATem control software. I'm going to go to switcher page. I think we're going to go this view because when I turn to look at it, switch back to my SM7B. It's a little better sounding microphone. And so again, this is not live tonight. So sort of. I mean, it is live. It is broadcasting to my ATem Extreme ISO. But as you can see right now on the screen that I showed you behind me, it's not recording. I think my key's in the output screen, so we're not going to go there. But we're going to be making macros using the HyperDecks screen. So when you have your HyperDecks hooked up, we'll go down to settings on the bottom left. We'll go to HyperDecks. You get a list now, and the new 9.5, 9.6 firmware update for the ATEMs as well as the software control gives you icons. So now you can see that this is the Studio Mini, this is the Studio HD Plus, and this is the Shuttle. They have little icons that come up, and this gives you the ability to control them. I can auto roll them. I don't have the Shuttle set to auto roll, which is right here. I have the regular HyperDeck 2 HD Plus, which I play my intro and my outro rolls. And so if I click on hit cancel, because we're not going to change anything in there. And if I go up here, you can see here's all the recordings I did earlier tonight using my macro. So I have a new disk in. It reads those files only. It can't see the other files because they're on a separate SD card, and it's not plugged into HyperDeck right now. It's ready to plug in because I'll have to plug that in to play my outro tonight when we get ready to quit. But there's the recordings I did, and they're just going to build up. The more I do use my macro for replay, the more they're going to build up, and we are going to do a replay with Ratso here in just a few minutes, so hang on for that. But I want to show you guys the steps to making this macro. So we're going to go up here and we're going to click on macro, macros, and let's see, where are they here? Let's switch back to this. Let me find where the macro screen ended up. Sometimes if I don't close it before I move the software, I lose the macro screen. There it is. So I'm going to move that over first. And then I'll move the software over second. Okay, we'll go back to this. So now I have the macros on the screen here. We're just going to cover up those videos. And if I scroll to the last page, you can see I have a replay button, and I have a replay 2 and a Seahawk button. You'll learn more about that here in a little bit. So the replay 1, if I hit this right now, it would take this view and it would record it for 25 frames, which is right around 25 seconds. Then it's going to switch it to playback, and it's going to play it back, and then it's going to transition back to my regular camera view after that video's done playing. So how do you record replay or instant replay? Instant replay would be a little bit different. You'd have to have something recording, and you'd have to have a macro to zoom back and take out a clip. And again, they make software for that. If you were going to use like a HyperDeck, then what you'd want to do is have a HyperDeck with one macro and another HyperDeck with another macro, and you would hit one to replay the next play. So let's say the referee blows his whistle, you're going to hit the replay button. It's going to record 25 seconds, right? The average play is way less than that, so I'd make a macro shorter if I was doing replay at football. If it was hockey, it's going to be a little bit different. If it's basketball, it's going to be a little bit different. But let's just say for football, for the sake of it's football season here in the United States, and we're going to have a football analogy a little bit later with Ratso. So with football, you know about how long plays are. So right when the referee blows the whistle, you could hit the replay macro. It would start recording however long you set it to record. And then once it's ready to replay, it's just going to automatically replay. So there's lots of different macros you can make. We're going to do a simple one again tonight. I'm going to talk you guys through the steps. So let's go into the macros, and you have the run screen. That's the run macros, and you have the create screen. So we're going to click on an empty box right here. I'm going to click the plus button. I'm going to name this live replay macro. I'm going to hit the record button. So again, when you're creating macros, just jump over here a second. They don't know what state your software is in. They don't know what camera. It doesn't know what camera you're on. It doesn't know anything. It's just going to record everything from that point on. So the sad thing about the macros are you have to start from the beginning to the end, and you have to tell it what you want it to start at and then where you want it to go. So back to this page, we're going to start by telling it that we want the HyperDeck to record, but for this macro to work, right, I'm going to actually have to change the camera settings because I don't want to start in this view. But for just the sake of tonight, for this macro, because you guys are watching me live and I want you to see what I'm doing, we're going to make this the view that we are doing the replay from, even though the other one is going to be my main camera angle, and Ratso is going to join us for that replay. So for right now, we're going to use this view, which is Super Source. I have two boxes, the one I'm in, and then the one right there. I always can forget which way to point. I could bring two more boxes on the air with Super Source, but right now I just have me in one, and I have the laptop desktop in number 2. So first thing we want to do is we want to tell it what camera angle we're going to be on. So I'm just going to simply real quickly click to camera 2 and back to Super Source. So now it's this macro is always going to start at this camera angle. So then I don't need to hit a pause because that's instantaneous. It happens like lightning. So I'm going to use pauses anytime things take a few seconds to switch or to switch into a record mode or whichever it is. So right now we want to go into record mode. So here's my HyperDeck that I'm using. This is the HyperDeck HD Plus. If I click on this one, this is the shuttle, I believe. And this one has no clips in it. So that's the mini. So we are going to go ahead and click into record mode by hitting the record button. So it's in record button now. It's in record mode now. And what happens on my screen, on my HyperDeck screen, is now I can see exactly what you guys are seeing. Also get audio levels. So now I want to make sure my HyperDeck is off. So if you heard any like delay or reverb and all that stuff, it was because it was looping. So as soon as I turned it into record mode, it's receiving the program and it was looping. So I want to set it to turn my my HyperDeck shuttle off because I'm going to be recording to it. I'm not playing back right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit a pause for 2 seconds. And that is because it takes that about that long. Actually, let's do, 2 seconds. It takes about that long to switch from normal play mode in my HyperDeck to record. So we're going to go ahead and hit pause. I'm going to go back to switcher view. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit record. So now you can see my HyperDeck is recording. So it's recording this right now, but I'm just recording a macro, but I'm going to have a recording when I'm done with this macro. That's why I need to turn the audio off. You guys should still be getting normal levels without any weird reverb. So now I'm going to go up to the add pause button, and I've already used it once. I'm going to add 25 frames. So it was at 2. I'm going to go all the way up to 25. And I'm going to hit add pause. So now I'm going to let it record for 25 frames, and then I want it to stop recording. So I'm going to hit stop recording. So now it stopped recording. I'm not going to tell it what file to play back. I'm going to just hit play here in a minute. And the reason for that is it will always play the last clip in the queue, which is number 6. Then it's going to play number 7, number 8, every time I hit the replay button. So don't click on any of the files, just leave it on the last one. And if it's not on the last one, then click on the first recording when you're doing this, and it will play that. So now what I want to do is I'm going to hit a quick pause, 1 second. Go into my audio settings, turn my HyperDeck back on. Audio follows video on the bottom. So now when I transition to this recording, it's going to play. Go back to the switcher. So now I want to give it time to start playing before I transition to it. So I'm going to get Super Source is it's on right now. We want to go to my HyperDeck. So this is my fill. So we're going to do a transition here in a second. And so again, I want to hit play. So I'm going to pause 1 second or 1 frame. I am going to hit play. And now it's playing. I'm going to add a 2-second pause. And then I'm going to hit the auto transition. And you may want to click away from it, back to mix. So it always uses mix as your transition. So now I'm going to hit weird transition. Reverb. So and now I'm going to go up to the add pause button. And I've already used it once. I'm going to add 25 frames. So it was at 2. I'm going to go all the way up to 25. And I'm going to hit add pause. So now I'm going to let it record for 25 frames. And then I want it to stop recording. So I'm going to hit stop recording. Okay, so now I'm back. You can hear me, but I'm going to keep recording. So let me keep recording. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 25 seconds for pause for it to play back. I know you guys can't see this. Just bear with me. So I'm going to do another pause for 25 seconds. To let the video finish. Add a pause. Then it's on HyperDeck right now. I need to transition now back to my Super Source. So I'm going to hit auto transition. And now you guys can see I'm back. So it took over because I was recording the macro on the very unit you guys are seeing. So again, you want to do 25 seconds of recording. Then you want to stop recording, hit the pause button, get the audio ready on your HyperDeck so you can do the transition. Make sure your HyperDeck is chosen in the bottom preview row. make sure your super source is in the top, because if you're going to do super source as you're recording, then that's what you want to record. And then you're going to add 25 seconds of playback. So after you hit play, then you're going to add another pause of 25 seconds to let it finish playing back. And then after it's finished playing back, it's going to stop. And then you're going to do a transition back from the HyperDeck back to your main camera view. And then that macro is done. And then, so if the macro was recorded right, we're going to hit stop up here. And then I am going to go ahead and we're going to use my macro because I know it's working for Ratso's cameo. But let's just go ahead and try this and see what's happened. So live replay macro, I'm going to go into the run screen. And let's see if I did this right. We're going to find out right now. And I'm going to hold up my cup so you know, again, that it's actually recording me. So let's go ahead and hit live replay and play. So this is a replay button we created live on Tuesday, October 29th. And we are recording 25 seconds, and then we're going to replay 25 seconds. So let's see if it automatically works and then comes back to me again. So this is a replay button we created live on Tuesday, October 29th. And we are recording 25 seconds, and then we're going to replay 25 seconds. So let's see if it automatically works and then comes back to me again. And it worked. Now, the video did freeze for a second, so I should have done the transition a little faster in that replay. And that's the bugs that you have to work out in the replay. But if you didn't think you could use the HyperDeck, just a single HyperDeck, to do replays, then now you know you can. Now, this is not an instant replay. You saw how long it took. If it was going to be an instant replay, then it'd have to be recording already on my HyperDeck. And then my macro would have to go back and capture like the last 25 frames. And they make software for that. But you could do some replay macro buttons if you wanted to using HyperDecks. And again, if you had one HyperDeck replay button for doing 25 seconds, you could also program that replay button to start recording in your shuttle. So they're both recording. And when the replay was done, your shuttle could continue to be recording. And then you could have another replay button that uses your shuttle. And when it's done recording, you could have it set so that your HyperDeck HD Plus starts recording. So again, that's how you program macros. And again, they don't know where you've been. So you got to tell them where you are and where you're going. And that's just a basic 25 frame quick recording and then a replay. So let's just have some fun with this real quickly. So let me go back to my lapel mic. Let's reach down here and grab Ratso, and let's see if we can't use some buttons here and have Ratso on the camera at the same time. So let me push this out of the way. Should still have audio. Ratso, of course, is hiding under my desk. Hey, Ratso, what are you doing? I'm just hanging out down here. Well, I heard that you were watching football last night. Yeah, I was. Well, was it fun? Yeah. You seem like Jersey? Yeah, you have a Steelers jersey on. Did you see Russell Wilson last night? Well, I was watching some Monday Night Football, and I did see Russell Wilson. Yeah, he threw this long pass, and it was incredible. Yeah, so what we're going to do, Ratso, I saw that pass last night. It was really incredible. I know you're excited about Russell playing the last two games. Yeah, he won. Yeah, I saw that. He won the last two games, but it did take some teammates. It did? Yeah, it took some teammates. So what we're going to do is you and I are going to play with a new feature. A what? A new feature. Yeah? What's that? We're going to do a replay. A what? A replay. You know, like every year you have to set your clocks forward in the springtime and then move them back in the fall? Yeah. Well, so because it was fall and we have to set the clocks back on Sunday, I thought it would be really cool if you and I went ahead and went back in time and replayed what you're about to say. What? You're going to say something. What am I going to say? Well, I don't know what you're going to say, but we're going to record it. We're going to play it back. Well, I shouldn't have said it. Well, if you shouldn't have said it, then we're going to hear it twice. What? We're going to hear it twice. That's crazy. Okay. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and push the replay button. It's right there. See it right there? We're going to hit it. And then as soon as that starts recording, it's recording. I know it's recording. So anyway, what was it? What kind of pass did Russell throw? Well, he threw a pass out to Justin Fields. No, Justin Fields is a quarterback that didn't play. Oh, that's right. So who did he throw the pass to? This is a quiz. 46 yards. Yeah, it was 46 yards. But do you remember who he threw it to? It's recording. I know it's recording. So anyway, what was it? What kind of pass did Russell throw? Well, he threw a pass out to Justin Fields. No, Justin Fields is a quarterback that didn't play. Oh, that's right. So who did he throw the pass to? This is a quiz. 46 yards. Yeah, it was 46 yards. But do you remember who he threw it to? There you go. It worked. And Ratso didn't even know who he threw the pass to. Even I know it was George Pickens. So beautiful 46-yard lob right into his arms, and he ran it into the end zone. It was pretty cool. Over 400 yards in the last 2 games, and he's replaced Justin Fields. And again, this is not football talk, and I'm not even a Steelers fan. I'm really a Seahawk fan. And if you guys enjoyed that replay, let me know in the chat here. And we'll bring Ratso back out here. Don't worry, because we still have a conversation. But I just wanted to show you a 25-frame replay. So good to have you here, Gospel New Ways. How you put name on YouTube video. Okay, we'll talk about that. Are you talking about the title on a YouTube video? Good to have you, Juris Designs. Hi, Keith. Hi, everyone else. GPS Pro. Thanks for the comedy. I needed that today. Yeah, well, Ratso is a long time. Let's get this back out of the view. Long time friend. He's a street rat and joined our family years and years ago. Entertains my kids and hangs out in the garage like every rat. Steals cheese off the table. He'll show up for Thanksgiving, you never know when, but he will eat some of the turkey and everything else. And occasionally we find Ratso-sized bites out of the turkey before we even get a chance to cut it. And he can show up and disappear at any time. And sometimes he'll show up for my live stream. Sometimes he doesn't, but he was here tonight. So that's how you can do a 25-second replay using your HyperDeck, using macros, and we have a poll up right now asking this important question. 8 votes so far. Do you use macros in your studio with your switcher? 50% yes and 50% no. Macros really are a great tool. I have macros to play my intro, macro to play my outro. I can change all of these camera angles using my macros. That is a macro. This is a macro. Let's see, I think camera 3 is live. This is a macro. I wish I could use the macros to change my lights, because this is the way the lights are when I'm using this camera, and this is the way the lights are when I'm using this camera. So I have macros to change cameras. I have macros to put super source on the screen, to play my outro video, and you could use macros to put lower thirds on the screen, all kinds of things. So this macro right here is designed with this lower thirds at the same time. So if I want to show a slideshow, which is super source with some slides next to me, I have one that's called Slideshow and Me, and it defaults to that image. So that image, let's go to this. That image right there is, let me move the macros out of the way, is in this box. So anytime I add if I want a picture to pop up first when I'm doing a slideshow, I'll use that picture right here, and then it will show up first when I go into the slideshow. And now all I'm doing is I'm dragging other slides in for a slideshow. I could use OBS to do more of a proper slideshow where they just go every 3 seconds. But now I could talk about this slide as long as I wanted. That's last week's live stream. So if you haven't watched it last week, go back and watch it. I talked about one of the things I really didn't like about the new gimbal by Insta360. They reached out to me. I got their attention. They got my information. They are working on some of the things. But what they told me, and let's go back to this view, about the Insta360 Link 2 is that because of the affordability, they felt like people would not be necessarily buying this for the overhead view. They would want desk view to shoot down from the top of their monitor, but they didn't need overhead view like the Insta360 Link 2 has. That's why it's more expensive. It has 3 gimbals. This only has 2. And I demoed that last week in my live. And I also posted a 32-minute video unboxing the Link and also talking about that same feature. And I'm glad it got the attention of Insta360 because many of the videos out there didn't talk about the missing 3rd gimbal really at all. They thought it only applied to portrait. So if you wanted to shoot video in portrait, it would flip over automatically. Now you have to put it on the gimbal and flip it, or you can use the little magnet thing right here. But think about this. This is on top of your monitor. You can aim it down further because it has this other angle right here, but that's really not going to work for desk view very well because it's not mounted on a pole. But you could try it. I've tested it every way but Sunday, and I like the Insta360 Link version 1 better for overhead shooting, but that's perfectly fine for everything else, including it has some cool new features, and it has, you know, improvements in just about almost every category. So keep that in mind. So if you haven't answered the poll yet, 8 votes. And do you use macros in your studio? So please answer the poll tonight. I would sure appreciate it. Nice work, Keith. Ratso is entertaining as usual. So, okay. So let's do one more poll. So 50% use macros, 50% don't. We're going to end that poll. Ended. Going to do one more here. You guys will like this one. Okay, here we go. There, if you want to answer that question, it's in the chat. It says, would you like Ratso to join us one more time tonight? Let me know, and we will have Ratso pop back in. And sounds like an alter ego. Are you living a full life? You seem so normal. Well, GP Prost, thank you for that insight. I think I'll drink to that. That's my answer. No bad days. It's not a show about ventriloquism, but to answer that question, of course, Ratso is a version of me, and it is great to show that and be the normal version of me during the day. And then that's why I like Batman. You put on the costume. Ratso is just like a costume. The difference is I'm here and he's here at the same time. You go ahead and try it at home. We'll see how you do with Ratso. Okay, so we have 100% yeses right now, 3 votes. I'm not going to bring Ratso out if I only get 3 votes. And I'm also going to check likes tonight, because if you like him enough to say you want him back, then there should be some likes in this video, because I spend about a day getting ready and about 10 minutes getting Ratso ready. Because again, you got to corner that guy to get him even to come onto the live stream. So thank you, Hank. Ratso rules. Yeah, he definitely is fun to have on the live stream. Okay, we have 3 votes 1 minute ago. Let's just continue going here. Macros are basically a broadcast essential. Good stuff. Yeah, thank you, GPB or GBP Pro. That's hard to say. But thank you for joining us tonight. It's great to have new people all the time. So one of the things I wanted to say tonight is, let me make sure I'm on the right lighting setup, is that we are going to do a poll before we go tonight. Do you want me live next Tuesday in the United States? That's going to be the election night. Many of you are going to be watching the election. You may be over at the polls voting in person. Shannon and I and our family have already mailed in our ballots, at least the ones that live with me. So that's Shannon and my mother-in-law, as well as my wife. So Shannon and I and my mother-in-law, that's 3 people. So we've already voted. I will be watching before and after my live stream next week. But if you guys do not want me to live stream next week, you want to wait to the week after that, that's perfectly fine. But I do want to remind you that it is going to be in the state of Washington, daylight savings time on Sunday, November 3rd. So we spring forward, which is kind of our theme tonight, and we fall back, which is the primary theme. So we've been doing replays because falling back made me think of replaying on a HyperDeck. So again, set your clocks back next week. If you don't make a time zone change where you're at, and I know not everybody does this clock forward and clock back thing, but just remember that I'm going to be setting my clock back. So if it was 4 o'clock right now, literally it would be 3. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a little bit later next week if I haven't got this all confused in my head already. Okay, so let's look at the poll. We have 4 votes now. They're all yes. I had 9 earlier. Did I bore everybody to tears and they left? I want to get a couple more votes if possible. And then we'll bring Ratso out and finish the conversation that he and I started earlier tonight and we haven't finished. So if you're wondering about this is my ATem Mini Pro multi-view, because I am streaming tonight and recording on my ATem Mini Pro. If I pop right over here and go up to this other HDMI input, this is going to switch over to my Extreme ISO multi-view, and that's the multi-view I'm using to produce tonight's show. And my ATem really is just receiving the program and it's sending it out through input number 1 on my ATem Mini Pro. So again, I do still have an Extreme ISO, using it to produce my show. You saw Super Source, that's not available in ATem Mini. So obviously I'm producing tonight's show and I can do views like this because I have an Extreme ISO. And this is Super Source, which is really cool because it's nice to be able to put boxes on the screen. Now, again, you can put a single box on the screen with the ATem Mini Pro, and that would be a DVE, and that's how I display chat. So when I put chat on the air, I'm just bringing one of my DVEs on. Let's just find a chat here that I want to display again. So that is using a key, and it's displaying that on the screen. So that could be a box. So I could bring a box on the air, like when I do my Skycam. So let's turn chat off the air and we'll put Skycam on. Interesting view for Skycam, but we'll put Skycam on the air. So that is a picture-in-picture, and you can do that with the ATem Mini Pro. But if you want to do layouts like this, then you really need to have an Extreme ISO or some of the newer models that have Super Source. So Super Source is 1 background and 4 boxes. You can have the boxes on the air and not on the air. If you just wanted to have a widescreen shot of you with a background, you could use Super Source for that. If you wanted to have 4 boxes on the air and make them whatever shape you wanted to, you can use SuperSource for that. You could put a HyperDeck behind you and have it playing some animated background. There's all kinds of things that you could do. You can't key inside of it. So if you want to be able to do green screen, you're going to have to buy a separate device to be able to key inside of SuperSource. But if you want to use your key in an ATem Mini Pro or in your Extreme ISO, you can do that from views like this. And then if I had a green screen behind me, I could key it back and put another background there. But you can't do that inside SuperSource. I wish you could, but you can't. And if you don't believe me, try it. I tried it for days to try to figure out a way to work around it. But now Blackmagic Design does have devices to do Luma keying. And so you can go check that out on their website. And those of you that remember what that's called, just drop that in the chat. So, okay, let's see a couple more comments here before we finish the poll. And if you have not answered the poll, the last one we're doing tonight in the live stream is, do you want Ratso to make an appearance again or not? Yes or no? And then I do want to know if you guys want me to stream next week. So okay, so this is I've had people, oh wait, chat off the air. What do I have here? Let me turn chat back on here. Put that back up there. Click on that again. So try using universal time. So yeah, I'll look into that. I'm not sure. Why did that not pop up? I'm not sure exactly how that would play out, but thank you for that solution. Hank, I appreciate that. So we'll look into setting the clocks that way for next week. I'm assuming you're saying you want me live next week. You're not going to be sitting in front of a television set or on your smart device watching all the election results here in the United States. So again, it's good to have you, Doug. Hopefully you voted. Let's look. I have 7 votes. They're all yes. That's looking good. I think we can get 8. Can't we get 8? Can't we get 8? Isn't that possible? Are you not out there? Grish, did you run away? I haven't seen Grish since he sat down in the front row. Let's see if he's made any comments. I don't see any Grish comments. He was here really early. So he was in the chat earlier today before I went live, but I don't see him now. So, but it would be nice to get one more vote before we bring Ratso back out. We have 7 votes, so in the poll. Polls are fun. Gives some chance for you guys to interact other than just chatting. So again, oh, look at this. Grish is here. Well, Grish, I'm glad you're here. He said, I voted just now. Okay, let's see if I have a result here yet. 8 votes. All right. Okay, thank you, Grish. And if you want me to do a replay of this next segment with Ratso, let me know. I will push the replay button, so you'll have to watch this little cameo of Ratso twice. I'm sorry I'm listening mode today. Don't fall chores, doing fall chores. I feel bad for you, Grish, if you're having to do fall chores. Keith, it's always good to hear your voice, even if it's rat talk. Cool. Chris says doing, laugh out loud. Yeah, rat talk. Well, it's good to hear. It's good to hear Ratso's voice, even though it might be my voice. I don't know. You guys try to figure it out. Replay or not? Yes or no? So give me some yeses if you want me to replay this segment, or give me some no's in the chat if you don't want me to replay this segment, and then we'll bring Ratso out here and we'll have a quick conversation, and then we'll roll out here tonight. So replay is possible with a HyperDeck. You can use macros to create it. If you don't believe me, watch this video again. There are more complicated macros you can make. I will play around with that. Maybe we'll do another macro night where we just focus on macros, not on replay, and show you some different macros that you can use. But again, they are great ways to save time and be able to just pop things up on the screen rather than mousing around. The software control from Blackmagic Design is called ATem Software Control, and you can see it in the top left there, what that software is called. So if you want all these different views, then you have to have macros to do that. And I even have macros to play my intro video and my outro video. And so loving these macros. So, okay. Splitting wood outside is what Grish says he's doing. Hank says yes. Doug says yes. Okay. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, you guys ready? Let's turn chat off the air. I still got my lapel mic on, and let me see where Ratso's at here. Hey, well, it's good to have you back. What were you doing down there? I was sleeping. You're luring. You were what? I was sleeping. You're luring. Well, thanks for saying it twice. That feels bad. So let's go ahead. What are you doing? I'm going to hit a macro button here. So there we go. We're going to wait for it. Why wait? It's got to record. Let's see. There it goes. It's recording. So anyway, you're a Steelers fan? Yeah, of course. Look at my jersey. Yeah, it looks like Steelers. So I'm a Seahawk fan. Too bad. Well, too bad. I like Seahawks. Why? Because they have an incredible mascot. It's a hawk. A what? A hawk. Is that a bird? Yeah, it's a bird. It's an osprey, whatever you want to call it. But in reality, you know what that bird? So anyway, you're a Steelers fan? Yeah, of course. Look at my jersey. Yeah, it looks like Steelers. So I'm a Seahawk fan. Too bad. Well, too bad. I like Seahawks. Why? Because they have an incredible mascot. It's a hawk. A what? A hawk. Is that a bird? Yeah, it's a bird. It's an osprey, whatever you want to. What was that? Well, we hit replay and it's only 25 seconds. So can we finish this conversation? Yeah. What kind of hawk? It's a Seahawk. It's a scary bird. Watch this. Ah, that's scary. He's kind of like you. Yeah. Good looking. Well, anyway, Ratso, thanks for hanging out tonight. Say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye. And I'm sorry I'm a Seahawk fan and not a Steeler fan, even though I spent some time in Seattle and I've spent some time in Pittsburgh, and I lived in Pittsburgh, and I've lived in Washington. Too bad. Wow, I like Washington. Okay, well, good night. So, Ratso is gone. That's a wrap on the rat. Wrap the rat. Back on by SM7B. So replay, I could have made those longer than 25 seconds, but I didn't want to extend tonight's live stream just because you guys are watching the same thing over and over again. But it's fun to play around with the possibilities of how you can use a HyperDeck. And again, most of what people are watching now online, they'll read articles, they'll listen to podcasts. We've got Grish now listening to the live stream, so it's a podcast, audio podcast for him. But in reality, most people watch video. So to add video to your live streams, either via HyperDecks shuttle, using your computer, playing videos through OBS, however you want to do it. And I've played videos before on this channel through OBS, so you can use it. You can do slideshows for OBS. Such a powerful free software. And if you are using it, please reach out to them and give them a gift, because you can say thank you for that incredible software. But video inside your live stream, I think, is incredibly important, and I like it. So I'm in video right now, so everything about my live stream is video, but adding clips in, popping that Seahawk mascot on the screen, just to let Ratso know that he's not the only person in a suit. And that, in reality, all that's in that suit is my hand, and that's where all the animation comes from. I don't know where the voice comes from. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I do know all the movement comes from this hand right here. So, well, that's it for tonight. Just let's look at the chat one more time to see if you guys have anything else that you want to say here. Chat is on the air. That's a good question, Tony. Does Grish have a gas-powered log splitter? Well, Grish, if you're listening, Tony wants to know if you have a gas-powered log splitter. So I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to run inside and chat back, or do you have your phone with you? But that's the question that Tony wanted to know. Doug says Ratso rules. Yeah, and I have a lot of fun with Ratso. I should be doing this and making kids laugh, but I'm so busy these days doing all the other things that I haven't had time to do that. I am working on a couple of routines right now. There is an elementary school over in Benton City that I want to go make a cameo appearance in. I have a good friend that is an elementary teacher, and I thought it would be lots of fun. So I'm kind of writing their script for their age group, and then I will be practicing it quite a bit of times before I go in. I don't know why I'm practicing, maybe just the hand movements, because again, we don't know where the voice comes from. I don't have that much wood, so just a 15 amp electric splitter. Well, cool. Congratulations, Grish. Get that wood ready for wintertime so you don't freeze. So I know it's only been an hour and 15 minutes, but guys, I'm not trying to keep you here for an hour and a half to 2 hours anymore. I don't know if TVJ is going to have his live stream tonight. I haven't checked yet, but go over and pop over there. And if you haven't subscribed to all the people here on the channel that have their own channels, please do. There's lots of them here. I know Doug has one, Force Online. I know Tony has one. Let's see who else here. I believe Grish says he has one, if I'm correct. Let's see. Not a ton of people here tonight. Chio, I believe, has one. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But again, thank you guys so much for being in the live stream tonight, joining me, having a little fun with macros for replay using a HyperDeck. Not going to play with a shuttle tonight just because it's the same thing. It would just be exactly like using the HyperDeck HD Plus. The same macro would have worked that we designed for the HD Plus. So really no need to recreate something we've already done. The cool thing about the shuttle, though, is, let's see if the shuttle is live here. Do I have any videos on the shuttle? No, I don't think the shuttle is live here. Let me put the disc out, plug it back in again. Yeah, I don't have any videos on the shuttle right now, but it's nice to be able to hit the jog and scroll buttons at the same time. Then you can scroll forward and back using the wheel, or you can just hit the jog and scroll forward and back. So it'd be really cool for slow replay. I've demoed that here before. I just don't have any videos right now inside the shuttle. Let's go like this though, real quick. Let me do one thing here real quick. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. Let's slowing this down. Go into this, up to the shuttle. Yeah, no clips in the shuttle right now. So I'll record one. What? Got it to stop. Yeah, and I think there's an error on this disc because it's still, I just recorded to it and it's not seeing it. One of the challenges would be I have to schedule or set it up in the menu correctly. So it's playing back something that I can show live. So we'll bypass that tonight. So, okay, last shot at the chat. Hank says, thank you for entertaining and resourceful section. You're welcome. Great stream. Thanks for bringing Ratso tonight. Have a great week, you, Tony, as well. So that's it. I'm going to roll the outro video. Better change disc so you actually see the outro video. It's populating there right now. and I'm ready to play tonight's outro. Let me make sure that my audio is on my HyperDeck and it has audio play video. So, okay, did I just get some more chats? Nope. Okay, you guys have a great week. I'm going to probably be live for a short live stream next week. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Don't forget, on November 3rd is daylight savings time ending. So you fall back your clocks or set back your clocks 1 hour. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the live chat next Tuesday. And hopefully the election goes the way you want it to go. Until next time, I'm Keith. This is Live Journey Production Studios. And be safe.